Oyigbo local government area. It was so well, promoted back then on the media, and indeed if you were on the streets back then, if you were business inclined, or if you had parents who were listening to real estate developers and people like that, were very in tune with what was going on at that time, you would have been hard pressed to go and buy a piece of property in Oyigbo local government area of Rivers State. And yes, a lot of people did that. But fast forward 20 odd years from that period, it's not all well and rosy for the people in Oyigbo, for the very many communities that make up the Oyigbo local government, but in particular the Oyigbo main town itself. It's not been, as it were, the realization of the dream that they had about 2 decades ago. Well, how so? For starters, there were certain parts that didn't have power for a long time, and then when power was restored, came the issue of road development. Almost everybody who I knew who had a house in Oyigbo stated that it was them and the associations in those areas that contributed to the fixing of the roads. Now, as you'd have with any form of development, particularly when it comes to urban development, as it starts to spread, you have satellite towns and the likes that have come through. Arabia, for example, is one of them. There were so many people who were buying into plots of property, plots of land in Arabia, and say, oh, look, let's go and build in this place, in the next 10 years or more, it go blow. But right now, it's not blowing. It's not blowing. And as the premier show where Rivers issues get to be talked about, Hello Port Harcourt has had a conversation about Oyigbo a few times. But now, just in case you didn't catch it, I'm sure you probably did, but just in case, in Oyigbo local government area, residents say they may soon hit the streets in protest over what they call neglect by the State Flood Committee. Now, a stakeholder, Victor Okuti, says that the people of Oyigbo feel abandoned. He accuses the state government of focusing on other flood-prone areas while leaving Oyigbo out of the flood control and relief efforts. Now, he says despite several letters to the governor and the flood management committee, Oyigbo has not been included in the ongoing canal desilting or other support efforts. But this is just for the flooding issue. What about the other issues? Remember this time when we had those demonstrations? I think it was NSAS, and then the road leading to parts of Oyigbo was cordoned off by the military, and it was there for almost 2-3 years. We had several people calling, and then there were other issues. People kept talking about, Oyigbo doesn't seem to be receiving development. There are companies there, there are people who cite their businesses there, but they have one problem. Gaining access is a challenge. And you see, you have people who live in Oyigbo, right? And they cannot readily come to Port Harcourt. Why? Because the roads are bad. But they can't leave their homes. They spend 10, 5, 15, 20, 3 million naira to build a piece of property in Oyigbo. And they are regretting it. In fact, the worst of them was a friend of mine, who had about, 6 or 8 apartment complex in Oyigbo, somewhere in Arabia. Because of the roads, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, everybody packed out of his house. 2-bedroom flats, 8 of them, 8 units, all empty. So, what exactly is the issue with Oyigbo? Is it that there's a torchlight that hasn't been shone on the people and residents in Oyigbo? What about the politicians, the CDCs, the local government chairman of that area? What exactly is the problem? Why doesn't it seem that development is coming to Oyigbo? Or is it? The people of Oyigbo, we ask you to come and speak to us.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
017-923-0002, 0817923-0007. At Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH. Our WhatsApp number, where we can also receive your SMSs, the device is in front of me so I can read your text, is 0809 030 6416. 0809 030 6416. As always, please do well. Turn down the volume of your radio set before you call, and refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. All right, we just want to get to hear honest views. All right, I know tempers are frayed, sentiments are high, but what is your experience as a resident of Oyigbo local government area in Rivers State? Chibuzo is on the line. Chibuzo, good morning to you.
Good morning, and good morning, Port Harcourt.
Good morning.
Yeah, for the issue of Oyigbo, I actually grew up in Oyigbo from my primary school down to my secondary. I think I left Oyigbo during my university. I think it's mostly the local government and the state government, the major issue. And I think why it's mostly abandoned is because they feel that most people inside Oyigbo are actually from outsiders. Like the main Oyigbo town towards the Concom and towards the VAB are mostly outsiders than the major people. And due to the opposition, that's one of the major reasons Oyigbo is abandoned. Because for years I knew how Oyigbo was bubbling, but today it's not the same thing.
When you say opposition, are you talking about are you saying it's from a political standpoint?
Yes, why? Yeah, because most people are outsiders and they don't choose to support the people they bring out. I could remember when I was growing up, the former local government was of 4G. Most people didn't support him then, and he represented the local government, and he was one time a representative, I think, what the guys House of Assembly, and no development in Oyigbo. He didn't bring any development in Oyigbo, and most of us who stayed there, grew up there, never liked him. Even the road to where he built his house is bad, like very, very bad.
So, Chibuzo, it is your submission that development is not coming through to Oyigbo as much as it should be because of political views and standpoints. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I think so. And
you think so?
I think that's my own point on it.
All right, Chibuzo, thank you very much. Well, he grew up there, spent time there, but he's not there. Is it politics? Or is it terrain that bad? What exactly is the problem? When we come back, we'll find out. Stay tuned. So we are back, 90.3, bottom of the hour. Greetings once again. Oyigbo is on our plate this morning as we get to look and ask the question, what exactly is the challenge in Oyigbo? And more importantly, how would you rate the government's presence in Oyigbo local government area? I'm not talking about this parent administration. I'm talking about in the past 2, maybe even 3 decades. How exactly would you rate what the government, whether it's at the state level, the federal level, or very importantly, the local government level? How would you rate the presence of their actions and their activities around or within Oyigbo LGA? And if you are listening to us right now and you are resident in Oyigbo, or you once resided in Oyigbo, or you had a business there, call us and tell us your perspective this morning. Has the government done just okay? Has it been held back? What are those unseen hands or forces that in your eye has led to the government not being as hands-on with Oyigbo local government area as opposed to the way Falga is, the way Obiakpo is, even the way MOI here these days is developing? Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget Eche as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a conversation.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
With Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
So at Nigeria Info PH, is where you find us on Facebook and X. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. All right, we stream live. We'd like to get your thoughts. Join in the conversation this morning. Once again, we're asking you to rate the government's presence in the LGA called Oyigbo. Do you agree it's not been great? This is not just because some of the residents there are frowning at what they see as a bit of an oversight and ignorance of their plight as residents of Oyigbo as regarding the flood challenges within, the area. All right, but how's the government been in terms of, responding to issues around Oyigbo in the past 2-3 decades? All right, let's get to have it. All right, let's get to have it. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp is 0809-030-6416. Muriel is on the line from Okrika. Muriel, good morning to you, please.
Thank you, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy
Welcome.
New Week.
I wish you the same. Welcome.
Well, Jude, I know we've always been learning about the Oyigbo people, and honestly, it's sad. But they are not the only ones suffering, Jude, honestly. My community, which is the Okrika community, that is very close to Port Harcourt, we're suffering the same thing. Is there any university, one university faculty or something that is in my community? There is really nothing, honestly. There's nothing much. It's just individuals that build houses and try to develop them. There is nothing. Government presence. I'm not feeling anything, honestly. I come out of my community every day. Almost every day. Let me not say every day, almost. But I'm not seeing.
Okay.
But for them, I think it just boils down to leadership. Just at the local level, the one that is close to us. Our House of Reps. No, and okay, let's not go far. They have our assembly members. They have local government chairmen as well. And allocations go to them. What do they even do with it? The governor does, the governor needs to come. We need government presence. But these small ones that are close to them, let us hold them accountable first. Because they get allocations. The people that get allocations, huge allocations. All of the last, what do they called them. Is it this thing chairman that came in? The Ibas people.
Okay.
You know how much they got, all of them, and they have gas. So please let them go first. Go to their brothers first. That's working with me. I believe. Look, just start the one close to you first before you go stretch your hand for that. Let us go to our local government chairman and councillors. Some of them, they give them allocations. What do they do with it? They build wonderful houses with it. Their own personal houses, cherish their family.
So
let them think at their own brothers first.
So how then would you rate the presence of government in Oyigbo? What over 10? What would you give in the past 3 decades?
Well, for me, I don't think it's up to over 10. I don't think it's up to 4.
Over
Honestly.
10? It's not up to 4.
Yes.
Wow.
3-4% is very low. But every community is suffering. It's just people that are fortunate, to have their own communities in Port Harcourt that are seeing development.
All right, Muriel, thank you very much. Zion's on the line from GRA. Zion, good morning to you.
My lovely Oyigbo. Oyigbo is one place that I would love to go back again.
Interesting.
Oyigbo is life. Oyigbo is nature. Oyigbo is an ambience. Oyigbo is an environment that nature meets reality. Cultural difference have no bias. Desert was turned into an environment we call Dubai. Two of us.
Interesting.
How come Oyigbo cannot be turned to an environment for relaxation, for tourism, for our native foods, for compensation? Underline that word, compensation. 40% of labor economic activities in Port Harcourt, Obiakpo local government, comes from Oyigbo.
Interesting. Yeah.
And yet the place is abandoned. See, it's a shame to the local government chairman. A shame to that family who claim they want people that don't want people to develop. I'm telling you, I live in Oyigbo by the grace of God. I have property in Oyigbo. We abandoned it and we ran away. That is the right word to put.
Really?
See, Jude, if you go to Oyigbo and spend one night in Oyigbo, you will love not to come back to Rivers to Port Harcourt. I tell you that over 40% of economic activities, labor activities, mention it comes from Oyigbo. Any day Oyigbo people say, we are not coming to Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt will be empty. But look at how we have handled Oyigbo. No government attention there.
Isn't there an overgeneralization to say no government attention there?
No, sir. Is it by roads? Even the road, do they construct the road to standards? Those roads will soon break up now. Those roads they are building, they will soon pack up. I'm the one telling you. Do you know what Oyigbo is? Oyigbo have the most renowned power plants. Oyigbo have infrastructure that the government, federal government, have hands in. And yet, Oyigbo cannot enjoy that real touch of governance. See, sir, I want to develop my community. Must not me must bring in a government institution or government parastatal there.
Okay.
No. What you need to do is to equalize the living nature and the culture of the people. On our way, they say, Oyigbo, what do you need? Number one, you consider the primary and the secondary school. You consider their access roads. You consider their security.
Okay.
You consider their market. Market. I use this word. Market. Oyigbo is privileged to welcome agricultural products from all the neighboring
states.
Abia, Imo, all those states, Aba. They see Oyigbo as their older point to Port Harcourt. So which means their goods must touch the Oyigbo before coming into Port Harcourt. So what can you do to make Oyigbo a flashpoint for economical hub the way Aba is bubbling? Normally, you see this river state, The way Abia State is trying to intimidate other states, if Rivers State government can invest in Obibo, Obibo will be our heartbeat to challenge the Aba itself. Because Aba is Obibo, Obibo is Aba. The people they decide when it comes to governance, they know they read.
Okay.
They know they think.
Over 10, what would you rate the government's president over there in the past 2 decades? How many?
3%.
3.
3, yes.
Daniel is on the line from Imoge. Daniel, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother Jude.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Daniel Imoge in Oswako.
It's a pleasure to have you join us.
Oswako share common boundary with Obibo. In 1975, when they carved Obibo to River State, they were about to take Oswako. Because that river, after that river, you are in Oswako. Yes, they wanted to carve Imoge to Oswako to Obibo from that railway. We said no. What am I trying to say? The Oyigbo people, or they call them now, but we know them as Obibo. They were rejoicing. They are in River State. And I now ask them, what are you benefiting being in River State? Come to Old Road, Oyigbo roundabout there. For you to access that Oyigbo roundabout to Afam, their headquarters, it was hectic 2-3 years ago. Did you know as they built that place from that Old Road down below to Imo River there? It's like, I think we Adias, we have to go and take them back. Big government, if they are not ready to do anything for Obibo, we have to bring them back to Adia. Because for me, Chinke Daniel Imoge in Oswako, I have not seen any government presence in that Obibo.
Interesting.
There is just entrepreneurs, all the local marketers and all the shop owners that have developed that place. If government has come in there, because you come in where you have population, some people now have population. I continue to ask, what is River State government doing for people? Just from that down below, immediately that down below, going to Afam, down to Imo River, that the road going to that Imo River, in River State, they are around it and like, this is not ours. And every other thing in that people that they're supposed to do to harness. Even do you know that river, we can make a tourism within that river.
So I
Even
hear.
though we Indians, we say we don't have money. There's a lot of neglect that the government, but like I'm saying, we now laugh at them that you went to River State. What are they doing for you?
All right. So basically, he's saying that there's been a neglect of that community. Ida is on the line from Nkoro. Ida, good morning to you, please.
My brother, I want to agree with other callers. I'm from River State, Ugopo Nkoro. Obibo is part of River State, but I've never seen government present in Obibo.
Why? Why do you say never? That can't be fair. It can't be
brother,
never.
Okay. Have you gone to Obibo before?
Indeed, I have traveled to there a few times.
When it is rain, have you?
When?
Rainy season, yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Rainy season. The roads were not good. I can't deny the roads were not good.
My brother, we have a lot of people in Obibo, but we didn't see government presence there. Through Obibo, they supply us light, but we cannot supply them road. We cannot give them standard road. There is no standard road in Obibo. I'm calling on Governor Sim Fubara, the golden governor of River State. He needs to visit Obibo. If we don't want to look Obibo, we should sell Obibo out of I'm calling on OT to come and price Obibo, so I will sell Obibo. Because no government, I'm telling you the truth. No government is taking care of Obibo people. Also, the local government, I don't know what they are doing with the allocation in local. Even their local government council is not fine. They lay us on them. If they lay us on them, Almighty Father, please remove that cost so that government presence will be in Obibo. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right. So it's a very heavy comment. Let's get to read comments on WhatsApp now. 0809-030-6416. 0809-030-6416. All right. That's messages only, please. We only take messages on the last number I just called, 0809-030-6416. Please. All right. I'll read your SMS messages as well. Sue, who's this now? Says Jude, good morning. Says Oyigbo is still locked as we speak. The soldiers are still on the express junction, making it difficult to get direct bus inside Oyigbo. Interesting. Jude, I found a flat for rent in Oyigbo at a very cheap rate. Very nice house, and I thought I have one, but at what cost? The roads are nothing to write home about, especially Rebie. That place. I beg to differ with Mr. Zion. I believe that it's because no major companies are the mainstay in Oyigbo, so they become undermined by the government. The oil producing and commercial LGAs of value are given priority over those and Oyigbo as a result of that. I rate government presence in Oyigbo 2/10. Godfather from Uniport. But I'm sure some people will tell you there are some, maybe 1 or 2 oil installations around Oyigbo. But what do I know, really? What do I know? Good morning, Jude. Jesse Akayogo from Gwara community. Oyigbo belongs to the Ogoni people. So those occupying Oyigbo should return to the right owners. Once again, when people make comments, concerning heritage, history, land ownership, they usually resort to, either the traditional rulers or the government, the courts, to determine those type of cases. It's not for us to determine. All right. We need to be to that. Okay. All right. Richie in Lekki. I think you have you have Lagos and Port Harcourt, in the mix. I think you're listening to Lagos, our Lagos studios, and you're trying to call us here in Port Harcourt. We get that a lot of the time. All right. Frankly, yes, Jude, good morning. I think one of the reasons why Oyigbo has not had good development is because many of the people there are not in the big political parties. Let's be honest. There's nothing wrong in citing more industries there. Like you said, if more companies come to Oyigbo, for example, a lot of the industries will be there. People bought lands in Oyigbo when I was small, hoping that the place would be developed. But sadly, that has not happened, frankly. So, yeah, like I said earlier on, when I was much younger, right, 2001, 2002, 99, when my dad would be, just with his friend, say, come Oyigbo, when you come that side, say, land, see, they cheap that time, you buy land now because, you don't expand, say, you go about now, all those settlements now, and say, you road day, if you use that road, go this place, go that place, go buy land now, make it be like say they don't tell you. And to be fair, a lot of people bought properties, moved out of Port Harcourt, and if we're honest, they did so for economic reasons because it was cheaper to build and everything. Some of those people are actually enjoying their lives right now. They probably had their association. The landlords, they okay, let's put sand here and blah blah blah. So they can go in and out. But that's not the case for the generality, at least from what I hear in Oyigbo. But while we are back to Oyigbo right now, in case you missed it, it's because of the flooding. Oh, yes. Some people in Oyigbo say, look, yes, other areas are experiencing the harsh realities of this perennial floods in this area. But Oyigbo people have not been included. Government, why? And it's a very genuine question, really. Why? They remit taxes. They are part of the economic wheel that is River State, so why not have them involved in the flood management committee, remediation or aid? Why not? Really? Why not? WhatsApp now, 0809-030-6416, 0809-030-6416. Good morning, Mr. Jude. There are over 5 oil flow stations and over 15 oil wells in Oyigbo. I see. I know now. I will check and verify. But I don't know the exact number. But I do know there are some installations around there. Jude, good morning. I don't know why successive governments in this state have not been very fair to the people of Oyigbo. They treat it as a backwater end, somewhere they should just do one or two roads and only make sure that the power station is working well, and that's it. People have genuine lives here, and we have untapped resources, particularly when it comes to agriculture. Imagine you having close to 10, 20 plots of land that could be used for a good farm. You would imagine that the government would be interested in such an endeavor, but sadly, no. We are our own problems. I don't know. But it is worrying. It really is. Facebook and X at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH. All right, at Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X. We're talking about Oyigbo local government area this morning, and a very simple question: how would you rate government's presence in Oyigbo LGA? How would you rate, whether it's the federal, state, or even the local government? All right, there's some interesting debate on Facebook right now. People are talking about whether it's here, indigenous, not indigenous. All those things at the end of the day don't matter. Wherever you are you comfortable with it? If you're not comfortable, why? That's the big question. Why? It says the soil in Oyigbo is rich, good for agriculture. You can farm any crop there without fertilizer induced. No name to that message. Thank you very much. I've always known, like I said, that Oyigbo has a lot of land. People have talked about it in the past. But now that some residents, are vocalizing their displeasure towards the government, particularly as regards the handling of the flood issues. Yes, Oyigbo has some flood-prone areas. We've heard about the Orashi River and those who are around it, how the government, how the committee on flood management is working, they're desilting. And they're basically saying, look, we need to have our drains also desilted. Why aren't you sending... It's a very simple question. And maybe it's an oversight. Maybe there's been so much attention on the people who are around the Orashi area, people who are part of the HA area, because they've been raising their voices for a while. Maybe that is why. Maybe. But now, the people in Oyigbo are saying, we need to have a deal-sitting process begun. Government, particularly the River State government, over to you. Although, the question has been asked, what exactly has been done with the allocations from previous years? Well, Oyigbo, keep raising your voice, keep speaking, and we'll keep listening. And I'm very sure in not too distant future, things there would change. My name is Jude. Coming up next on Hello Port Harcourt, Jude's Corner after the break. And I think I'll be stepping on some people's toes this morning. Well, another day, another Naira.